Hi, good morning. My name is Raquel. Today is Sunday, the 22nd of January, and I'm coming to you from Porto in Portugal. So I wanted to start off by thanking all new and returning viewers for joining me here today. And yeah, let's get started. I'll be teaching a workshop next week on how to make toe-up socks at Ovelha Negra in Porto. And for that class, I needed to create some samples. So what I did was I got some Aran weight yarn that I have leftovers from making toys. In particularly Rosários 4 Cappuccino, which is a really super soft milk fiber yarn. Has wool and milk fiber, and it's really super soft. It's really ideal for making kids clothes and all that. I like it a lot to make toys out of, and I usually make my toys on 3.75 millimeters with this yarn. But yesterday I went up to 4mm needles to create my socks. I created two different types of socks because I'm going to teach, hopefully I'll be able to teach two different types of toes and two different types of heels during the class. We'll start with the most difficult one and then we'll go to the easier one. So the most difficult one in terms of construction is the heel flap and gusset. It's simple to do on cuff down. Heel toe up, it's slightly more complicated, and because you need to really know the length of your foot and all that before you start inserting the gusset increases. So I created, and I've done the toes and the heels in different colors, and the foot and the leg part and the cuff at the top all in one color, so that it's easy to see where the toe finishes and where the heel starts and all that. So I've done a rounded toe in this one, in the purple yarn. Then I've done the foot and the leg, and I've done the heel in a teal color, so it's easy to see. So this is one of the samples I'm going to show, and this is the size that we'll be making in the class. Then, if we have time, hopefully we do, I'll show another method, which is just this regular toe. Instead of the rounded toe, it's the regular toe, because people might not like the rounded toe, they might want the regular toe, which is more triangular. And I did the short row heel, and again, this one I decided to do the cuff in the other color as well. And so that's the second one. I made this one a bit smaller because, like I said, I don't know how long it's going to take everyone to knit this sample, and then so if we have some time we'll knit a smaller one to just learn the techniques basically. And what I mean with the difference between the rounded toe and the regular toe, if you can see, this one is more rounded and this one's the rounded toe, and I'll put it like this, and this is more triangular, if you can see. So that's just, different, and there's also the star toes and all that, but I don't usually use those. These are the more traditional toes, so those are the ones I'm going to be teaching. And so those are my finished objects for this week. I haven't finished anything else. I've been working. I'll start with a whip that I was working on last week that I showed you, but I haven't picked this up at all this week to knit on, because I'm working on the other project, which is a commission. So this is my eyeball shawl by Stephen West, and I'm using Barn Studio Drops lace in black, ice blue, and white. And last week, sorry, there's fluff flying around. Last week I was here. Let's see if you can see this. So I was more or less here where this yarn is. So I knit the rest of the iris, if you will. This is the pupil, basically. This is the iris, and this is on a short cable. I can't stretch it out for you. Hopefully I finish off the other whip that I'll be showing you in a second quickly, and I can start knitting more on this, and then I can show you more progress next week. So then I started on the white section of the eye, and I got halfway through the first one. And I started originally on my Addy Clicks metal needles, but was slow going, and I was like, this should be going a lot faster, because in the round it's stockinette, and this section is in garter stitch because you're just knitting every single row. And then I was like, well, you know what? I know exactly why this is going so slow, because the needles are so slippery, or the needle and the yarn combination makes it a lot more slippery, so I'm like slowing down to control that I don't lose any stitches. So I changed to my wooden needles, and they have a bit more grip. So these are my Knit Pro Symphony needles in the same size. I'm using 4mm needles. So this is going a lot faster. That's why I made a lot more progress last week on Sunday after I podcasted than I had until then. So this has been put to the side because I got commissioned to make a tunic length sweater from by a lady when I was in the Ovelha Negra shop last week, and I'm using, sorry about the needles, the noise of the needles hitting the table, using Ovelha Negra Olivia in number 57, which is the Dove colorway, and then I have the Rowan Kid Silk Haze in I think it's 653, and that's Shadow color. And so I've mixed those two to make the sweater, the tunic length sweater. And because I'm not following an actual pattern, I've created my own spreadsheet on where to do the increases, because I had to do less increases on the front and the back than on the sleeves to get to the stitch count I needed. So the front and back increases were done every 3 rows, whereas the sleeve increases were done every 2 rows. So to keep track of all that, I made it like a little spreadsheet. And then the lady liked the look of the mellow sweater that was hanging as a sample in the shop, so the sleeves are in garter stitch, which basically means I have to knit a row, purl a row, which is fine, I don't mind. And I decided to do an I-cord bind off all the way around, so I still need to do that on the neckline. That'll also pull the neckline in a bit. So yeah, what I've done, and as I started knitting this, I went back to the project I made last year, which is a dress. Mine's slightly longer, it's not tunic length, this goes all the way to my knees, and it doesn't have any sleeves. And I used 4.5 balls of the Rowan Kid Silk Haze. And I only have 4 balls of the Rowan Kid Silk Haze for this one, so that's not going to be enough. So I asked Joanna at Ovelha Negra to put aside 2 extra skeins for me, just in case, and I went to pick them up yesterday, but more on that in a second. So I started just with the back increases and the sleeve increase, well, back and front increases. Sorry, I'll put it back here so you can see it better. So I've done the squared neckline. It doesn't look very squared, but it is squared neckline. I just need to do the I-cord bind off all the way around it, and then I knit the rest of the body all the way until I finish the first ball of the Ovelha Negra yarn, the Olivia yarn. And I picked up and started a new skein of the Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and started the sleeve. And I used, like I thought, I used more than half of the skein to do the sleeve. I used 15 grams, and each ball of Rowan Kid Silk Haze has 25 grams. So I definitely will be needing those extra skeins that I got yesterday. So I finished the sleeve yesterday, or actually I finished the I-cord bind off this morning, and I started the second sleeve this morning. So goal for today is to finish the second sleeve and start on the body again. So yeah, so while I was at Ravelry Negra yesterday, I had planned on just going quickly in and out, get the yarn, and come back and sit and knit the rest of the day, and take the dogs out for a walk, play with the cat, who is surprisingly quiet, so that makes me suspicious. I don't even know where he's at the moment. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what he's up to in a second. Now, I haven't started my crochet granny blanket for a very simple reason, that I don't have the right hook size that I want. I want a 3 or 3.5mm hook size. I do have the 3mm hook size, but it's those completely metal needles, like I think they're by Pony, I'm not sure. And after working on those for, if I use it a lot, I start getting like cramps in my hand. So I noticed that Joanna had some, and I don't know the make of these, doesn't actually say it on the needle. I noticed she had some of these metal needles, but they have like kind of like a foam around it, so that it's like more ergonomic, if you will, and it doesn't hurt your hands so much. So I wanted to get the 3mm and the 3.5mm, but I couldn't find the 3mm, so I just got the 3.5mm. And if I don't like the fabric that I'll create with this, I'll see if she can get me a 3mm needle. So each size is color coded, and the 3.5 is like a purple. Now on screen it's a little bit more blue purple, but it's actually more of a pink purple. And this is the 3.5mm hook. And once I finish the sweater, and I've done a bit more on my shawl, then I might start the granny strap blanket. I forgot to mention about the shawl. I'm hosting a Stephen West knit-along for January and February, and that's my entry. Well, my entry as in I'm not actually entered in for the prizes, but that's what I'm planning on adding to as my how do you call it? My submission to the cowl. It also qualifies for my stash busting cowl, which is running for the whole year. And the idea behind that is to use up as much yarn from stash rather than constantly buying new yarn. So that, that shawl counts. The sweater that I'm knitting does not count because this is new yarn. So that doesn't count for any of the cowls, but that's okay. It's a commission, so it doesn't even count for stash going into my doesn't even count for yarn going into my stash because I'm knitting it. I mean, what I consider stash is either yarn gifted to me or yarn I bought, and this is yarn bought by the client for me to knit up a piece. And sure, the leftovers will eventually go into my stash, but the actual skeins don't go into my stash. I will put them up on Ravelry and everything, but yeah, I won't actually count the skeins as skeins coming in to my stash. Sorry if that's confusing. Anyway, that's basically it for today. This was my only acquisition, other than the 2 balls of Roman kid silk that I needed to get for finish the sweater. And anything else? No, that's it basically for today. I don't really have anything else to show you. I know the episodes have been kind of short, but you know, I only have so much time to craft during the week. I do still have, my pets to take care of. I need to clean the house. I need to make my meals. Unfortunately, I have to work, which I'm not even gonna get into. It's not worth it. It used to annoy me a lot, and I've just decided to let it go. I don't even, when I'm with friends and everything, I just avoid talking about it. It really just is not worth me getting all upset about. I just go into work, do my job, and at the end of the day I come home and I just forget about everything that happened that day. So, in terms of plans for this week, nothing much. Or what happened this week, nothing much happened this week. I've been, like I said, just working on the sweater, playing with the dogs, playing with the cat. Sit's been annoying me by waking me up around 4 o'clock in the morning, which he was doing really fine until I stayed home that week at Christmas time. So I think that messed with his sleeping pattern, but I'm hoping to get that set back to normal, because he was sleeping throughout the whole night without waking me up. Usually when he started annoying me, waking me up around 6:15, which is it's pretty close to when the alarm goes off, so that's not a problem. Sorry, I went to bed late last night. I kind of got carried away with knitting on the sample socks and then on the sweater. So yeah, I haven't really done much of anything this week, and today I'm just planning on. Yesterday I spent some time at Ravelry with Joanna. I spent most of the morning there, and half of the afternoon. I helped her tag some yarn that she had caked up. So she had like the whole table that she has. Usually when I go there and I sit down, there's like a table that I sit at, and it's a fairly big table. I think it's maybe 1.5 by 120 meters or something like that, and that's when it's closed. It can even open up even further. So she had that whole table covered in yarn that she caked up. It was actually the Ophelia yarn, which is 100% wool. I really like that yarn. That's what I used to make the flax sweater I showed earlier, a couple episodes ago. Sorry. I think I need to go outside and be a bit more in the cold to wake me up. I've taken the dogs out for several walks, 3 walks already, but I think I need to go for a longer walk and really wake me up. So yeah. What was I saying? Oh, I helped Joanna put the labels on the caked up yarn, which was quite fun. When I set I was just really, while we were talking, I was just like, okay, Joanna wrote the labels, the color name, the color number, and the lot number, and I just put the tags around the cakes, and then we reorganized the shelves a bit to do a bit of color coding, so all the blues together, all the greens together, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was fun. Something different. It was quite a lot of fun. So that's what I did this week. And for the coming week, no real plans. I have to go to work on the sweater. I'm hoping to finish that by Friday, so I can start working on my shawl again. Because I did really want to finish the shawl by the end of the month, but that doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Because, well, it might. We'll see. We'll see how things go. We'll see how much knitting time I actually get this during the week. So, yeah, in case you're wondering, I don't know if you are or not, but the cold front that has been forecasted seems to have arrived here in Portugal. I say seems because during the day it's still like 13, 14 degrees. Yesterday I was in downtown Porto. It was like 14 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning. So to me that is not cold. I know a lot of people are complaining about the cold, but to tell you the truth, this is my kind of winter. And the only thing missing here is snow. That's the only thing that's missing. And it should be, for it to be a really proper winter as far as I'm concerned, which is the kind of winters we had in Holland, minus the rain. I don't need the rain. I don't mind the cold. I just don't like the rain. No, let's rephrase it. I like the rain. I just don't like the rain and the cold. That just makes a really bad mixture. So I'm liking this weather. I like the cold weather. I don't mind the cold weather. I like the warm weather as well in the summer. I love summer. But I don't mind the cold weather. I think to make the summer even more enjoyable, the warm weather, we need a really cold winter. And I go out during lunchtime the way I'm dressed now. I forgot to mention, I'm wearing my romping around. This is my second version I made in the green. The original version I made was in blue. This is the romping around pattern by La Maison Lily. And this is all Ovelha Negra Olivia yarn, which is the 55 merino 45 cotton blend held double. And I think, okay, so the green color here, I don't know if it's, is Moorland. Then this green color here is crab apple. Then, and here, I don't know if you can see it. I'll see. So this purple color here, there's two colors in there. There's the cassis color and the plum color. So that's like a darker purple and a lighter purple. And I've been wearing this sweater and its mate, the blue version, quite a lot actually over the couple of weeks, because it has the cotton, it doesn't turn that warm. It's warm, don't get me wrong, it's warm. But it has a bit of a neckline. So on the less colder days, so more in the autumn, I was wearing this with just a plain t-shirt underneath. Just those tank top kind of things. Now, because it's slightly more cold, and again, like I say, cold is relative because I don't think 13 or 14 degrees is cold. I'm wearing like this turtleneck, like it's really thin turtleneck sweater. Sorry, Rusty is begging for some attention. So, so I've been wearing this a lot. I've been wearing mostly my hand knits actually. If I'm not wearing one of the sweaters I made, I'm wearing a cardigan. I've been wearing my socks every day. And in the mornings I leave the house wearing, I don't even take a jacket with me. I just put a shawl on, some mittens, and that's it. Because basically I leave my apartment, I go straight to the garage, get the car out of the garage, get to the office, and where I park my car, I'm like maximum of 10 steps away from the front door of the office. So I never go very far out. And by the time lunchtime comes around, the sun is shining and it's quite warm, and I take the dogs for a walk. So I don't really need a jacket. Unless there's like some cold wind blowing, then I do put on a jacket because the cold wind does, it's windy. It turns colder. So yeah. Sorry. I've been chatting about the weather for quite a long time, and I think that's more than enough. So I'm going to go make some lunch and do some knitting, take some photos, because I've been neglecting the blog, because I've been too lazy to take photos. So I need to take some photos, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with some more finished objects to show you, if not, some works in progress. So, bye!